joining us today, Shaq.
Please welcome Lucinda to the show. This is really for those who watch us on YouTube. Up and she's gone. Lucinda has made up, but the butthole is still here. Okay. Um, she is wondering why I'm still doing this. So she's
happening there?
taking a moment to just be like, hey, you gonna be at this for much longer? And I don't know if she means today or just in the grand scheme of things. Like, how long do you plan on having a podcast? I believe.
Really? You're still, this wasn't a pandemic thing?
Oh, yeah. So y'all just gonna keep going, huh?
No.
Every once in a while, she'll ask me about my future. And I'm like, I don't know, baby.
Oh man, yo, this was real talk, Shot.
Mhm.
This week was the closest I ever came to quitting.
Oh, quitting what?
Like comedy.
Oh,
Everything.
yeah?
Real talk. I was trying to I was like, y'all been doing this a long time. I don't know if it's going anywhere professionally. And I took a job. I got a blue collar job. I was out there loading trucks for Brown Army.
Okay.
I was like, this is stable work. And if comedy don't work, I got a thing where I could work full time soon. You know what I mean? I get benefits. I
Right.
get a consistent check.
Okay.
I did it for a week. And then I woke up for the first day of the next week's shift, and I was like, nah, I'm bugging out. I'm a comedian. And this is scaring the hell out of me that I'm making a choice that's taking me away from comedy. And
Okay.
I had a whole panic attack at like 4 a.m, scared the hell out of Gabby.
Okay.
Because nothing sounds weirder than like complaining that you don't have time for jokes while you're serious. Like that that conversation, I don't have time to write jokes. I'm doing this job. Like that whole
Right.
breakdown, while very serious, none of those statements sound logical as a serious thing. And only the partner of a comic and a comic would get that.
Right. Yes.
That I'm genuinely saying I need to tell jokes to be sane.
Right.
So yeah, I reached out to the people. I was like, hey, listen, I appreciate it. But this ain't for me. I don't think I respect the fact that most comics, I think, have a part-time or a full-time job. It makes sense. You need stable income.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like after this much time without that, going in that direction, like it felt like a real choice of like, I'm going away from this. So I didn't want to do that. So I spent like a whole day like planning out, okay, how do I pay bills but keep flexibility?
Mm-hmm.
So I re-registered all my Uber stuff. So I'm gonna be, yeah, if you went upstate and like in Long Island, you gonna see me driving Ubers. Say what up.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? That way I could still make stable income, but I got the flexibility of like, yo, if I book a gig, I could do the gig. So yeah, but literally that was all in like 6 days. I had like I went through a life cycle over there, yo.
Okay. All right. Well, how do where do I even begin? I feel like that's what is happening right now in general in the air. First of all,
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite times of year.
Mm.
I bring it up all the time. Say it with me, everyone.
Is that really now?
Yes, that is really now.
Oh, yo, that's what's up. Yo, shouts to Mercury.
No.
Real talk, baby. Retrograde.
So things are strange, like confusing and strange and weird, and there's all of that. So I understand that. Plus, I think the way planets are kind of aligned right now, everything is um maybe kind of like, let's figure out your work, financial things, that kind of stuff. I ran
Yeah.
into a student on the train yesterday, and we were just talking. we were just kind of catching up. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like everybody is on the edge of something and we don't know what it is. And
Mm.
we are waiting to jump. Um,
Oh, okay.
and but we don't know. It just feels across the board. Everything just has this feeling of like, okay, there's something coming up. And when it happens, I think I'm going to just leap in, but I don't know what it is yet or what this means. And I'm like, that's how I feel right now because I truly feel like there are things that are lining up. And I mean, it could just be business as usual, just I now do these things.
Right,
But
right.
um there are there's something is supposed to happen soon,
Fingers
but I just
crossed.
got to wait things out and just do whatever I can. But I know with my own um horoscope it's been like, hey, like figure out financial stuff, which totally makes sense. I mean like um I hear you on like the getting a job. I think I know that had to be hard to get a job that had nothing to do with comedy.
Yeah,
And I feel like but I also don't know what it's like to believe in yourself enough to be like, comedy is the only way that I make money. Because
right.
I've known a few comics who are like, when they decided to do it, they were like, this is the only thing I'm going to do to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I am not a hustler. So I enjoy a W 2. I
Amen.
will, you know, work until it looks like I don't need to have that day job, that I will get another type of day job that's more in line with what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And uh so that you totally went to like, let's just do this thing. Also, did you work for them before?
Yeah, that's kind of what like made me think, okay, like this is something that I know I've been capable of before. That was humbling, by the way. 25-year-old Gastor, very different guy physically. I
Didn't
was
I tell
getting,
you that? Wait, did I
yo,
say this to you?
real talk. I was getting my ass kicked every day with them boxes, yo.
Yeah, okay. Also, it's always they always say it in movies and TV shows you can never go back. And I'm like, whatever, we'll see. But my mother said it to me once. She was like, you can never go back. You really can't. And I'm
Yo,
like, oh, okay.
real
Um,
talk. Everybody in there is 22,
mhm.
or if they're my age, they've been there since they were 22.
Right.
Like it's one or the other. Like everyone was like, "Yep, I'm about this life. I got like, I own a business outside of here, and I do
Mhm.
this for benefits. Been doing this since I was 18. Or I'm here and I'm gonna do 5 years until there's an opening as a driver, and I want to
Right.
do that for a living. And it's
Yeah.
fire, but it's work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was the only maniac in there. I was like, yeah, I'm here because I still want to do comedy during the day, and I'm trying to figure out if this could be a solid backup in the meantime. And they're like,
Yeah.
okay, where
Which I
we,
mean, there's something else that there may be another thing that you can do for
yeah,
sure, but it's not that because you've already done that.
word,
And so that's off the table. Um, yeah, like it has to be something that moves you forward in some way.
yeah, I'm realizing
And
that.
yeah,
I feel like kind of what you touched on. Like if I have to find something that's like industry adjacent, or not necessarily, or at least like skill set adjacent,
right. Yeah.
so that like my brain is happy in
Mhm.
doing that, and I think I'd be fine. Also, to your point, it's just there's a lot of stuff that like feels like there's like 10 things that are like 20% likely to happen. That if any of them happen, I feel good about where I'm going, but none of them are sure things either.
Right.
So like the math says, like I'm something should happen, but I still got kids today.
Yes.
So
Right.
like so I was like, all right, what do I do here? And yeah, I went through like a whole panic job application at like 3 in the morning,
Mhm.
and ended up with a job, and yeah, go figure. And here we are.
Yeah. I think right now we are people who maybe don't normally do this have to step out on faith, and I'm including myself. If anything, I'm talking directly to myself. Um,
It's like the old pod when my camera didn't work.
yes,
Okay,
right.
real
I
talk.
I feel like something is in the air in a way that we have to step out on faith, and that's
Mm.
very hard for people who don't normally do that. But I feel like that's honestly the only way to move forward is to have faith in yourself or whatever the situation is. And I mean, you can be confident in yourself and not have faith in yourself.
Yeah, that's real.
So that's like for me anyway, that's the issue of just like, okay, I think I can do this thing, but can I do it? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and so that is the second can I do it is the one where it's like, well, maybe you're just going to have to start it and see what happens, but just believe in it while you're working on it or working towards it.
Mm.
And that seems insane because usually if there's a hang up there, it's because it's something that's so feels so lofty or so out of reach or so like I don't what that but I don't know, you just kind of have to trust and believe, and I hate that I'm saying any of these things.
Yo,
Oh,
it's
I
real
hate
though.
it. I hate that I'm this person or that I am dancing around this person, but I guess that's what has to be done. And it's to me it is scary. Others I feel like others are seem to be doing it easily, but I'm just seeing it in other people around me that they are we're all preparing to do a thing.
Mm.
Like, all right, I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this job. I'm going to take that. You know what I mean? Like, and it feels, and even if you don't have an idea of what it is, everybody, it just feels like everyone's been treading water for a very long time.
Right.
Um, and that perhaps we are all preparing to step into another place and see how that looks and feels. But it's scary because we are so close to complete ruin. Like, you know what I mean? Like
All the
it's
time.
all the time, but I mean like right now feels so tangible that this everything could just end
Yeah.
in a way that I've not felt in my lifetime. Um and so it's scary to be at that point and then be like, whatever, I'm going to write a book. What are you talking about? Like, get out of here.
Real talk.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there's like days where it's just like I don't like real life stuff happens and I'm able to provide, but like
Mhm.
not at the way that I want to.
Right.
And it feels really weird to be like, yo, we got like a real bill that I gotta take care of, or a real
Mhm.
thing I want to give my kid.
Mhm.
And like I could go do something that makes that easier, but like it's really hard to like double down and be like, nah, I'm gonna work on this blog post or
Yeah.
like
Right,
this
exactly.
reel. Like that's just crazy. But that's
Yes.
the answer in a weird way, because like also like I've put in so much time in this that like any job that I get, which again, not knocking, but it would be it wouldn't pay immediately the way any of these things would pay if they pay off. And I think
Right.
that's the thing that's in the head of every comic, that like
Mhm.
I'll get a job that'll, it'll sustain me, but if I double down on this thing and it finally hits, all of these things are solved. Whereas the job would be like a
Oh, and see,
band-aid.
I don't think that way because I don't think all the things are solved if this thing hits.
Okay.
I'm beyond that. I didn't well, also, I started too late to let that belief seep in.
That's real. Okay.
And then started to see how it really works, and what I see is, like, a lot more of a scramble, and
Yeah.
that is what keeps me because 'cause I'm scared, I'm terrified all the time, and that having to scramble and all that kinda stuff really scares me, so I'm like, "Ugh," and it's keeping me from doing things that might actually hit. I just don't believe I both don't believe in myself and, and the other thing, like I could do it.
Mm.
So it's like that kind of thing. So where I am now is trying to not think of everything as the thing that will hit,
Right.
because that it was killing me and stifling me, and I wasn't coming up with anything because it has to be the thing that will hit, and that pressure is too much. And so
I
what
like
I am
that.
trying to do right now is get back to where I was having fun doing it. And if I can get there, then maybe I'll just maybe for me it just ends up I'm having fun doing it while doing all of these things. And maybe it's not a big hit for me.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? But but that doesn't say I wouldn't love to do those things, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'm at a place where I'm having fun again, then I open myself up to doing the things and they don't scare me because I'm like, "Oh, this is just me having fun." Which is how I got to do some things before. It's just I'm just like,
Right.
"Let's see where this takes me." And at some point, you think, "Okay, you gotta have a plan and all this other stuff." And I'm like, I'm not good with those." Like, I know I personally am not good with making plans, and seemingly my life has been kind of going where the wind goes, but I'm not going far. I'm not
Mm.
like going where the wind goes. It's like, oh, the wind blew me into this place where I can have this job for this long and pay for things and have insurance. Great. Thanks, wind. Thanks. And then the wind has to try and move me again. And now we have to have like gale force to get me out because I'm like, oh, but I'm here and I'm comfortable. And it's like, you got to get out. And yeah. So uh, there's that of just like, ugh, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I get like if I do this thing, it could become huge. But I'm also seeing lots of talented people who are doing a thing and it doesn't become huge. I feel like
Right.
I've been someone who's talented who was doing a thing and nobody kind of cared.
Right, right. That's
You know
real.
what I mean? Like I'm watching peers do stuff. And you can get salty about it, but I'm also just like, I mean, maybe this just isn't the way this thing is supposed to be done,
Right.
which I feel like is a healthier way to look at it than to get mad that everybody else is having these packed out shows and I
Yeah.
can't get 20 people to come in and see mine. And
That's
I'm
real.
like, why is that? What am I doing wrong? And it's like maybe
Yeah.
this isn't how this is supposed to be. And I'm forcing it into a place it's not supposed to be.
I like that approach though.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be honest with, okay, this should be like that. Maybe this is where the demand seems to be. Maybe this is where I should be. Maybe I should be
Yeah.
doing this kind of, you know what I mean? Like looking at it differently and then figuring out what will work. But I mean, that again, I ain't got no kids. Well, I got a cat. so so that's different. But
uh,
I just feel you've been doing this for so long. Your kids notice. And they will notice that maybe had to get a traditional job, but they will also notice you pushing to do that up to a point and beyond. Even you were doing what you wanted to do to make sure that they got what they needed. They are noticing that as much as they are noticing, like if you were to stay
right.
moving boxes, they notice that as well. And that also goes into the folklore. You know what I mean? Like my dad was an auditor at a bank. He built an auditing department at a very popular black-owned bank. He also had to deliver papers in the middle of the night.
Right.
You know what I mean? My mom worked as an insurance claims adjuster for two different insurance companies, one during the day, one at night.
That's real.
Yeah. So I see that, but she also realized she loved making jewelry. So she cut back on the times that she was working the night job and started making jewelry and loved doing that enough that she got a tax ID number so that she could start a company so that she could sell her jewelry. And I
Mm.
remember that I saw that too while I was in high school. So, you know what
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean?
that was that part of, like, my fear that, like, they would see me not be me anymore. Like,
Right.
I feel I was very, aware of the fact that I became a better person when I wasn't doing a job I didn't like,
Right.
and I don't wanna revert to that, A, and
Mhm.
B, I don't want them to see me not go after a thing I would like doing
Mhm.
and that I believe in.
Mhm.
So yeah, those are things that weighed on me a lot, during a part of it. I do, uh I do think, like, at the core, it's kinda like I'm trying to find that part of what you're talking about of, like, doing it just for joy again.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find a way to do that. I feel like, to your point, like, almost everything I've ever gotten has been because of that. I was in that space.
Mhm.
So I wanna get back to there. And there's stuff I do that brings me joy. Like this is one of them. I genuinely look forward to doing the pod.
Right,
It
yeah.
is something that is super easy to start. I have a good time. I talk and people enjoy it. It grows.
Mhm.
Uh I don't feel everything we do in comedy is that though.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
hasn't been for a while at least.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to figure out how to get to that again. But
Yeah, I hear you. I'm getting ready to take a teeny tiny break from teaching for the next I'm
yeah.
not teaching the next session. And then I was going to actually take the rest of the year off, which would be 2 sessions.
Okay.
Um but I'm losing a roommate, which means I gotta cover rent for myself, so I'm like, "Well, I better get back to teaching then." You
Real
know, so I'm
talk.
like,
Yeah.
get this little vacation away from it, but that was a thing for me where, like, for a while, teaching was not fun. I was getting these folks who were not fun to work with, and I was
Right.
just like, "Oh, no," you know, and I'm like, "Am I even doing this right? Am I just bad at giving them guidance, blah, blah, blah?" But lately, I've been getting people who are fun to work with, and I'm like, "Oh, well, that kinda makes me wanna, like, keep going and keep going," but I'm like, "But I don't wanna burn out, so I need to take a break and do things that I enjoy so that I can get back to a happy space again."
I like that.
Um, so so I'm like, "Let me take this break. Let me, start this new thing that I'm supposed to start to see how that feels,
Right.
and then fit the classes into that again to see how all of that is to make sure it's still that I'm still getting something out of it and it doesn't just feel like a bunch of obligations. Um, let me see all these shows that I bought all these goddamn tickets to. Let me let me, since that's a thing that I enjoy, let me be nourished by going to live shows because that
Hell
is what
yeah.
that does for me. And then let's see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm so I that's wild that you went back. I'm glad that you stopped.
Yeah.
Um and but I understand the urge, but I also think there's something out there for all of us, honestly, that we just need to I think for the next 2 to 3 weeks we just need to sit still. Until September hits,
Yeah.
we need to sit still through the whole month of August, which is the length of the Mercury retrograde, and we need to sit still and assess and just kind of like think it through and try to get things in a row and have whatever emotional feelings that we need to have, but then also like let's try to do some planning, not act on anything, but let's just really kind of assess our situation because I feel like in September something's coming.
Amen.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, baby.
Oh, please don't hold me to that. Oh Lord.
Mercury retrograding. War report, another 4 years, just like the election. We
Right,
out here,
yeah.
baby.
I mean, honestly, the country feels like this as well.
Yeah, real
Like,
talk.
I feel like we are all just like, "Oh, okay," you know what I mean? Like, and we don't know what's next, but I think we are gearing up for it.
Mm.
And I'd really like for it to be positive. I don't feel dread.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I
I
agree.
don't feel dread is on the way. I
I
just
felt
feel like
that
something's on
before.
the way. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is.
I agree with that. I like that.
Mhm.
No dread.
No, no dread.
I like that. That's gonna be my motto, yo. I'm gonna say that all year now.
No
No
dread.
dread. Rest of 2024.
No.
Gang, gang. Let's get
Okay.
into some news.
Okay.
Kicking us off. Live 2-foot eel chews through a man's intestine after he put it up his anus. That's a dreadful
Okay.
moment
I
there.
feel like the whole story's in the headline.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Okay.
I mean, what did he think was going to happen? You know what? I can't.
Yo, a Vietnamese doctor
See,
removed a
already this takes
live.
away all the goodwill.
We had a positive start to this
We had
pod,
a
yo.
real nice.
We had a breakthrough, real moment.
Oh boy.
But Vietnamese doctor removed a live 2-foot long eel from a man's abdomen that had chewed through his intestines after he shoved it up his anus. Nauseating discovery was made when a 31-year-old Indian national was admitted to Viet Duc's hospital in Hanoi on July 27th with excruciating abdominal pain. The doctors learned that the adventurous patient had slipped the phallic fish up his backside earlier in the day and it tried to escape. The eel had bitten through the patient's rectum and colon and to escape its abdominal cavity. The patient was immediately examined and underwent several imaging tests, including an X-ray that showed the eel's skeleton lying inside the abdominal cavity. Doctors attempted to remove the foreign object through the man's anus, but they discovered a large lime that he had also inserted, blocking the way. This dude trying to make a
Okay.
salad, yo. This
Stop.
for real, you putting food,
You
yo.
had a lime and an eel
Real talk.
inside of you. You know what? Maybe you're just never going to reach that orgasm again.
Yeah, B. That's it, man.
Maybe that was it. Maybe whatever happened before, whatever high you're chasing,
Yo.
whatever dragon you're chasing, I think it's gone. I
Real
think it's
talk.
gone.
You got to just talk about it. Like,
Yeah,
be,
you just
be
yeah.
happy you experienced it once.
Be
Okay,
be happy that you felt it.
that's it. Tell the story. You know,
It's better to have loved and lost
real
than
talk.
never to than chasing that love again with a lime and an eel.
Real talk. Yo, respect though, honestly, because like, there's nothing. There's nothing that I felt that's been so good that I've been like, yo, I don't know what to do to get that feeling back. I will try this.
Yeah, nah, I don't I think we just let that go.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean? I'm not there I've never experienced anything that had me so twisted that I was like, what if I put a lime in an eel?
yeah, like
What if
because
I
that
yeah,
he's tried other stuff.
right. There's no way that was the first pass. That
Yeah,
wasn't the first draft of it.
nah,
No, no, we in the shit now.
real
No
talk,
pun
yo.
intended. We definitely are like, what else is around? Like what? Oh my
What's
gosh.
right and like so I would assume he started definitely obviously something 20 inches,
I'm
but I don't think he started live.
no.
That was that part kind of impresses me. That's ingenuity. Like
Is
he
it?
real talk. Cause like it could be like, you know what I mean? He smashed or something and he's trying to like relive that. And that's beautiful. Real talk, man. You miss your partner. You know what I mean? And he tried something, but it didn't do it. And then he realized the living element. He was like, oh,
No.
like it was a real thing. So he's like, I should try this. I'm not saying it worked. I'm just saying I'm like he's thinking outside the box. I think that's kind
No,
of dope.
no, he's thinking of only the box. He's putting it all in the box.
What's
And
in
I
the
don't
box?
yeah. That's all I'm thinking. Is that Roddy Rich song? Oh gosh, man.
Oh man! In other news, Super spicy ghost pepper potato chips land Japan school kids in the hospital.
Hey, everybody, stop putting wild shit in you.
Any holes, no
Any
spicy,
holes,
no
top,
living
bottom,
things.
side. Like maybe that's the true lesson of this episode is stop putting wild shit in you.
Real talk. We don't even want AirPods in your ears no more. Okay,
I mean, I just got a pair and I'm like, I don't think this is for me.
I can't do it. I'm headphones only. I
I
can't. I
mean,
can't convert.
I needed to be able to put a sun visor on and I couldn't with the headphones. And so I got little, and also my ears, they're not built for, my ears are built for headphones, not for little
Yeah.
things to go in. But this had like different interchangeable rubber ends that
Okay.
got smaller. So I was just like, well, maybe we'll find one. I don't think we found one yet. But mostly I think my ears are just like, stop putting stuff in me.
Telling you, we gotta listen. Real talk. 14 Japanese high school students were taken to the hospital on Tuesday after eating super spicy potato chips. More than 30 pupils at the Tokyo high school were reportedly sharing the potato chips during recess when some started complaining of nausea and acute pain around their mouths. 14 of them were rushed to the hospital with all conscious, while all of them were conscious, but at least one feeling so ill they had to be transported on a wheelchair. The broadcaster said a male student brought the potato chips to the school just for fun because he had eaten them before and found them super spicy. The potato chips concerned have the brand R18 plus curry chips. Uh,
Okay.
that's wild. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you got to show
Oh,
ID to eat chips.
according to the manufacturer's website, under 18s are banned from eating it, which are so spicy they might cause you pain.
Okay.
Those with high blood pressure and weak stomachs are absolutely prohibited from taking bites, and those who are timid and have no guts are also discouraged. Well, they
See,
ain't
yeah,
got no guts because they tried to eat one of your goddamn chips. You
real
know what?
talk, B.
Don't
Yo, don't
put
be
this
talk.
on the people.
Yo, potato chip brands talking shit now. That's wild, yo.
I know.
Real talk. Don't
No
eat this
little
if you ain't
bitches
got
can
no.
eat our.
Are you too soft? You too
Uh,
soft for some chips? Yo, that's gangster. If you ain't got no gut, they could have worded that differently if it
yeah, they
wasn't
didn't
a
need that.
yo.
Those who are timid and have no guts, fuck you.
Real talk. Pringle ain't do that to you.
No,
Nah, man. Nah, that's grimy.
that is grimy.
Real talk. Keep that away. That's how these kids in the hospital.
And also, I bet it's actually not even that good.
Yeah, there comes up. I was just talking with this with Aiden about this. That like I love spicy food, but like it's because it heightens. It shouldn't be spicy to the point of pain.
Right.
You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think that that's what a lot of people, when they're thinking of spicy, I mean, I don't know if that's a cultural thing or what, but I feel like at some point people are just like, I just want to try to eat the hottest thing possible.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
nuts.
like, but what about, I mean, does it taste good? What is it? You
Right.
know?
You're not enjoying the food because
Right.
he went like I like spicy food, so I told him about it, and he went on this whole like craze, and like now he eats spicier food than me, and I'm like, that's fine, but like if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Like,
Right. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Who wants to weep at every meal?
like real talk. We're not consoling each other because we finished. That's crazy.
Right.
It should add to the enjoyment. Nah, man. I hope those 12 kids learned a life lesson. Soda cans. Soda cans are exploding on Southwest flights due to sky high temperatures. That's right.
Damn, nobody can catch a break this summer. I don't know what's happening.
Yo, Mercury retrograde everywhere. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Summer temperatures across the US are so high that they've created problems at cruising altitudes, causing some overheated beverages to burst midair on a number of Southwest airline flights. Many of the airports where Southwest has a large presence, such as Phoenix, Las Vegas, Austin, Dallas, Houston, and Sacramento, are located in cities that have already broken temperature records this year, and as a result of heat waves fueled by the climate change. Southwest confirmed that the heat has warped some of the cans and caused others to burst upon opening, an issue it's been communicating with employees. But it stressed there haven't been any reported incidents involving customers. That's right. They
That's
are
because
only,
customers don't get a can.
yeah. That's a weird flex. They're like, now we only hurting our staff. Okay. Real
I
talk.
mean, Honestly, this kind of makes me worry about being in a giant soda can with wings
Real talk.
that like
Uh,
is certainly warped. And I'm
yo,
like, "Oh shit." You know? I
yo.
too am full of ginger ale. I I could explode at any minute. Oh.
Oh man, I think I've told you this. Like when I worked at Frito Lay, we had like visitors from other depots, and the guy from Phoenix, he came to visit us in Brooklyn, and he told us that all the routes there run overnight for that reason. They have to all
Oh.
be back because the bags would pop in the truck if you
Oh,
ran during the day.
wow.
Yeah. He was like, it's like one of the only areas in the country where like they start the work shift at like 7 p.m. for delivery. Whereas
Mm.
normally you go early in the morning. He's like, yeah, we couldn't do it. He's like, we were losing literally like 15-20% of the product every time a truck went out. Like they would just start popping. It's crazy.
Yo, I didn't even think about it with
Yeah.
bags.
He was like, he's like, if it's like 110 degrees outside,
Yeah.
like that truck is like 140, 150.
Yep.
Those bags just started popping. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, he's like, there's like a time that we don't let the time that they start is sundown, and
Mhm.
they all have to be back by a certain hour. Like you're not allowed to be out when there's daylight. Crazy.
Wow. That's
Real talk.
insane.
Yeah, yo. It gets hot out there in these streets, yo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I never even really thought about it with bags. I mean, honestly, though, that's still only like, 3 chips per bag, so not a lot of cleanup.
And it's still in the box. It's cool,
Yeah, they're
you
still
know?
in the box. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. I've definitely gotten a shipment and opened the box of chips, and half of the bags have popped. And I'm like,
Yo.
"Ooh, rough ride." What happened?
Yeah, because you don't know what that box could have been in a hot warehouse or something.
Yep,
And it
yep.
popped. And they didn't check it after they accepted it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's insane.
Real talk. If you would like our own brand of food that only pops exclusively, that's what we do. We
But
exciting food product.
but not popcorn.
Not popcorn. It's
It's
already
just
popped.
food that's so excited to be in your mouth that it just pops early.
That's right. All you gotta do is like and subscribe to the show, baby. If you're an Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You don't see the value in this. You don't gotta open the bag. The bag already it opens for you. Come on,
Right there.
time saved. You know what I mean? 5 stars, you see the vision. We're combining it with the cans that pop open. Now you got a full meal. You know what I mean?
It's granted, it's floating in the air, but it's a full meal.
Real talk. You got to eat it off the floor. I mean,
Yeah.
that's on you. You got to plan accordingly, you know? If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to FCBLJ and Jennifer Styles. With all that said, I am the COO of War Report Pops,
Wow.
Gastor Almonte.
Oh
You know what I
boy.
mean?
I
With
gotta
the
be
visionary.
I gotta be in marketing because we gotta change that name. War Report Pops is I don't know. I don't know if we're really selling much.
Well, I thought it was kind of on the button right there. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, it is a little on the nose, but I already
Yeah.
have to when I tell people the name of the podcast and they're like, "What do you talk about?" And I'm like, "Animals escaping." Like, it's not it's a little different. So this
Real
is
talk.
definitely
And like, oh, so that's kind of intense, right? What kind of articles you cover? Real talk. Just like gears escaping.
Right.
Shark attacks by as serious as we get.
Right, exactly.
Oh man. No, this was initially serious, but now just like making me want a snack episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.